Today I'm at Diamond Sports Marine and I'm with their factory technician Daryl. I want to talk about a few just basic service items that often get neglected. Aren't major things, don't cost a whole lot to do, but I think, Daryl, you find if you do them, your boat's going to last a whole lot longer.
Oh, most definitely. One thing we're talking about is the lower unit. Keep it serviced. You know, the impeller, the oil. Check for fishing line behind your thrust washers, behind the prop.
Yeah, we see the fishing line. Sometimes it's really obvious to be hanging out. What happens is basically the line's going to get behind there. It's going to eat up the seals, and you can destroy a lower unit, right?
You're going to lose the sealing capacity, and there goes your oil. Plus, there goes the water inside the lower unit.
Yeah, I think most people know that obviously the lower unit lube, you need to keep that fresh per your manufacturer's instructions. But the thing some guys neglect, as you mentioned, the impeller, and with these water-cooled engines, the impeller is what the main vehicle that brings water into the engine.
It is. It's real critical, and especially at higher operating temperatures, these motors run out today.
It used to be there were just a few basic filters. Now there's water separating filters, there's fuel filters, a whole variety of filters, and those are important as well in the motors.
Yes, they're important, and due to the alcohol in the fuel, there's a couple of water separator fuel filters. Some are inside the hull of the boat. Some of them are on the engine itself. And we even have the oil filters now, small oil filters that need to be addressed. Do your cheap maintenance, do your filter maintenance, do your lube maintenance, and in the long run, these motors will run longer.
Now the bolts are something that's easily overlooked on here. Most guys don't think about it, but really important safety factor on these motors.
Right. The bolts on the motor, they're stainless steel hardware. They do tendency to get loose, especially the waves, the torque, the horsepower of the motor. Check it not only at the transom brackets of the motor, but check it at the bolts on the boat itself.
Right, because you have rough water. If these start to get loose, you can not only do damage to the motor, you can actually rip it clean off.
I've seen them broke. Yeah, I've seen them broke half in two.
Final thing I guess we haven't touched on, and it's a really simple thing you didn't have to do before, but what about fuel? What do you recommend today with this ethanol fuel?
I personally run a marine stable, the marine formula. Even if I'm running or storing, I still run it in it. Again, that boils down to all the alcohol we have in the fuel. It will deteriorate rubber from the inside. You can see a fuel line here, and it looks perfectly good, but from the inside, it's torn up.
So obviously, if you're going to store a boat for a while, you need to put the stay bill in. But even today, if you run the ethanol gas, it's just going to give you a better performance in the long run if you go to that ethanol stay bill.
It's just the alcohol, nature of the beast.
All right, thanks, Daryl. Some great tips here on just some basic service items to keep your boat up and running this coming season.